If you're thinking about celebrating the new year, here's what you did not know. Have you ever wondered where the word December comes from? How about the word January? Have you ever wondered why the supposed new year is placed right in between these 2 months and what it really represents? Here is the whole truth and nothing but the truth. As you can see, according to etymology, December actually contains the root decem to mean 10 and was the original 10th month of the old Roman calendar, which initially began in March. And we know this is true because September was originally the 7th month, October with the oct was originally the 8th month, November was originally the 9th month, and December was originally the 10th month, with the new year to begin in March around the time of the spring. Which makes sense because spring represents rebirth and renewal for the plants and the animals, as well as the leaves and the trees and the flowers. Spring is also a time of renewal and a time of regrowth. And according to both Roman and Hebrew traditions, the beginning of spring is actually the beginning of the real new year, which was also true and the case for ancient biblical times because the first month of Aviv began the spring according to Exodus chapter 12. So if spring is actually the new year, where do we get January 1st then, and why has it been placed on that day? Because what you're currently looking at is a picture of Janus, who is the idol of beginnings, gates, transitions, time, doorways, passages, and endings in Roman mythology. And as you can see right here, he is depicted as having two faces, one which looks back into the past and one looking into the present, which symbolizes and represents looking ahead and looking behind, which is actually where the month named January comes from and originates from and is named after, as you can see here, even from Britannica. The same is the case for etymology when it comes to the word January. It means the month of Janus, who is the Roman idol of passages and time and beginning and doorways and ending, and is the worship you're partaking in when you celebrate the new year on January 1st if you observe this paganistic tradition, especially when it comes to looking back at the previous year and looking forward to the new year. But how did everything get twisted and how did January 1st come about? Because according to the ancient Roman calendar, there were actually only 10 months in them with no January or February whatsoever, a calendar lasting 304 days during the ancient period. However, it wasn't until around 700 BC that King Numa Pompilius added January and February to the original 10 months, which increased the year's length to 354 or 355 days in the Roman calendar. Then there was the Julian calendar that was introduced by Julius Caesar as of 45 BC and replaced the Roman calendar, and in this calendar it introduced leap years, 365 days that were divided into 12 months, and this calendar even included February 30th as a real date. And then there was also the Gregorian calendar, which was first adopted in 1582, and for this calendar, 10 days were dropped in October of 1582, and it's named after Pope Gregory the 13th, which is where we get today's calendar, consisting of 365 days and 366 for a leap year. And of course, today's calendar, which is used by much of the world, stems from the Vatican and Rome, part of the beast system, which would think to change times and laws to hide the real new year, which begins in the spring.